Did not have the video ready.
Oh,
This is what Jenny and I do when that video's playing, like every single time. It's like
little interpretive dance.
I wasn't ready. I was trying to make sure I had a link that we're going to talk about in a little bit.
I love it.
Hmm. Soul awakening. You know what? Can I go off script? Not that we had one,
Yeah.
but go off script. So I want to talk for like 3 seconds, Jenny, or maybe more, about. I'm reminded as we talk about soul awakening, I'm reminded of our logo. I don't
Ooh.
think that we've talked about it. Like, I don't know that we've really discussed why our logo. And I think it is such a beautiful thing. And in fact, on our website, you can go, one of the pages talks about why mind, body, soul. And you can go in there and you can really see like the different pieces of our logo and what they mean to us if you don't actually know the symbol.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we've got the three pebbles right here, and they represent the mind, the body, and the spirit, the
Mm-hmm.
foundation of being here on earth. And we talk a lot about mind, we talk a lot about body, we talk a lot about spirit. But this circle that we put around it is called an Enso, ENSO, the Enso circle. And it symbolizes a lot of things like cycles, like our mind, our body, our spirit goes through cycles all the time. Jasmine's always talking about cycles and the elements. But also symbolizes strength. It symbolizes connection, letting go, expectations, beauty, and imperfection, because it's not a full circle. It's
Mm-hmm.
not full, it's cracked right here for a reason, because it allows new information to come and old information to go. So new information comes in, old information goes out. New information comes in, old information goes out. And it's really beautiful circle of togetherness.
Yeah, and we chose this for our logo. This was actually not our first logo as a studio. Um, but we chose this for our logo because it really does, it means so much to us because we feel like to have an awakened soul, you have to realize that you have a mind, you have a body, and you have a soul or a spirit. And you have to realize that these things have a rhythm, have a cycle. And it's just, yeah, I couldn't imagine. We actually have been advised to change our logo in the past. And I'm like,
Nah.
no, that's dumb. That's dumb. We're not doing that. So
Thanks,
when we were deciding what the name of our retreat was going to be, like our signature retreat was going to be Soul Awakening, made the most sense. So now that we've explained the logo to you, which we have never done ever in a video, I don't think ever, let's talk about soul awakening. Like, what does it mean to awaken your soul? What does it feel like to realize that we are a body, we are a soul that has a body, not a body that has a soul?
Yes.
Like,
The
how does
soul
that?
experiencing through the body. And the mind takes that experience and makes sense of it.
Yeah.
So Soul Awakening is really beautiful. This year, it's in Lava Hot Springs, Idaho, September 22nd to 25th. The dates are down there. And September 22nd is the autumnal equinox.
Tell us about that, Jenny.
Equinox, equa stands for equal and nox equal stands for night. So equal night. So we have two equinoxes a year, spring and autumnal, and there's one day in spring and one day in autumn where we have equal daytime and equal nighttime. And so in the summer, the spring, it's like, woohoo, it's this overcoming darkness coming out of winter, the caving, which is dark, and now it's starting to be more light throughout the day. In autumn, it's the okay, this is the end of the light, and we're going into the darkness now to cave. And it's really interesting that the title of this is Light versus Dark, Yin and Yang, masculine and feminine. And it's all this really beautiful balance. And a lot of people like shun the dark. That's bad. Let's shun the nighttime because it's scary. And that's when, what does the Game of Thrones say? The darkest night and full of terror.
Winter coming.
Yes. So people tend to kind of like shun the dark. And you've heard Jasmine and I pound in to you guys, whoever listens, that dark work, shadow work is so, so important. And anyone who says, oh, just don't look at it, just ignore it, just look at the light, say your positive affirmations, don't worry about the scary, dark, bad thoughts, just push them away, focus on the light, focus on the light. That's spiritual bypassing.
Yeah, and I think that also is like we were on this kick about existential kink, right? And really enjoying the parts that aren't great and realizing that they actually are. Like the things that are making them not great are our judgments about them. And the judgments that have been created over time by us just thinking that they're bad. And every shadow has a light aspect to it. And when we just pretend that they don't exist, that's when disease comes into our body. When we pretend there isn't hard, when we pretend there isn't dark, that's disease. Because there's that constriction there. There's that, no, don't touch a button. No, don't touch a button. No, don't touch that button. And then your whole body is like,
but I got it. It's here. What are we supposed to do with it? If we're not going to pay attention to it.
Yeah. Yes.
And in the mind, what you resist persists. So if you resist those dark thoughts, they're going to just keep poking at you and keep coming back. So, and it's like, I've got this light here, and because there's a light here, there's a shadow there. You wouldn't have one without the other.
Absolutely.
And so it's okay. Like your dark parts are just as beautiful and valuable and part of who you are as your light parts are. And there's no shame in that. Like, let's just get the shame and guilt off the table because we're kind of taught to feel dirty about our dark little secrets.
Absolutely. And I feel like there's just, yeah. So when we talk about soul awakening, we talk about awakening all the parts of you. And once you go through this door and you say, you know what, I'm here, spirit, I see you and I want to connect to you more. And it's not for everyone. That's true. It's not for everyone. I want it to be for everyone, but it's not everyone's path. But if you're someone who's like, I want to understand all of me, I want to have a deeper connection with myself. I want to have a deeper connection with the people around me. And by deeper, I don't mean that you have to be in this all the time. I don't mean that you have to be doing work all the time. I mean, I want to feel things deeper. I want to feel in my own skin. And I remember the last soul awakening retreat that we did in Lava was probably the most intense retreat I have ever been to in my life, personally. And it kicked off a huge personal journey for me. It was when I really started diving into inner child work. It was when I really started to dive into feeling my body on a very real level. I feel like, and I say this all the time, I feel like I felt the wind different after that retreat. And just like when I say connecting to myself, I mean, I want to feel all the parts of my skin. I don't want to have numb spots. And if I do have numb spots, I want to know what they are. And when I want to connect with other people, I want to feel them too. I want to feel all of their energy, and I don't want to connect with them with my guards up. I don't want to connect with them when I feel like I'm walking on eggshells. I don't want to connect with them when I feel like they don't want to connect with me. And that's what I mean by deeper connection. Like really being in it. Like if we're having fun together, we're really having fun together and we're in this moment. If we're in the sadness together, then we're really sad and we're in this moment. And if that's something that's like gets you excited, if that's something that you want to do, come on this journey with us. Whether you come to the retreat or you come and do other things with us, it doesn't really matter. But I think that Soul Awakening is like the kickoff party. It's like the after party of your wedding. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is like, you said you want it. All right, let's do it. It's the honeymoon.
Oh my gosh. And we have so much fun. Like, yes, we do this deep healing work, but there's joy and fun in it. And this, like, to be able to get that deeper connection, you really have to understand yourself and have compassion for yourself before you can really truly have compassion and empathize with other people. Because you can be, instead of this like, oh yeah, that sucks for you, it's like, oh man, I know exactly how you feel.
Yeah.
I've been there. And it may not be the exact thing, but man, when you're in that dark place and you can love and have compassion and sit and hold space for yourself when you're in those dark moments, you can do it for anybody else too.
Yeah, and dark is dark. I don't know that the story of dark matters. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
whatever puts you in that darkness, it really is, it feels the same no matter how you got there. And that is something that's really hard to feel, but also interesting once you kind of get into that mind space of where you can see that no matter what the story is that gets you to darkness, it all feels the same. It all feels lonely. It all feels like you're never going to get out, no matter what got you there. But I love the studio, and it's like the whole reason that we made the studio. And Carrie cries every single time that she talks about this. But so we wanted a community. We wanted you to know that there are other people going through dark stuff, either right now or they just were done with it, and or they're getting ready to go into it. And we're here for all stages of that. And this community of people is here for you as you go through that process, because you can do it. And I want, if I my mission in life is for everyone to feel the way that I felt about my body after soul awakening last time. Like, it, that's my life goal. I want everyone to just, I mean, like, have you ever like just woken up and like, oh my gosh, like it just feels so good. Like, and you wanted that feeling all the time. You can get it all the time. And you can feel that feeling even when it's not great, even when the energy's not great. Just being so open and connected to yourself. And I mean, it's really something I'm super passionate about. And I feel like when you take this mind, body, soul, mind, body, spirit, and you do the work of being in it, and you realize how much it can alchemize, how much it can be together, it's such a powerful thing, which is why even more so our logo is what it is, and our mission is helping you connect with your soul and awaken with your soul.
Well, yeah, and let's talk for a minute, just a quick minute, because we're going to dive deeper into this in the actual retreat. But feminine is the dark.
Yes.
Let's think about that for a second. So, feminine is the dark energy. It's that yin energy, and masculine is the fire, the light, the sun. So, if you're only focusing on that fire, the go, do, create, make it happen, without really allowing yourself to sit and surrender and receive, you're going to be imbalanced.
Yes, let's discuss that. Like, if you're giving all the time, you're in that masculine go energy all the time, you are not receiving. You are not ever going to feel joy. You are never going to feel happiness. You're never going to feel peace because you're always going. You're always fighting for the next thing. And I think that's such a good point, that masculine energy is light and feminine energy is dark.
Mhm.
And in this particular equinox that's going to happen during this retreat, we're ushering you into the dark, baby. Like, and it's not bad. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And it's such a peaceful time. Like, I think about like just a cozy sweater and like just like a little cozy sweater that's around you. And you know, I used to struggle with being in the dark a lot. Like at the beginning of my journey, I really was like, no, I had a very significantly long dark night of the soul because I wanted to force my way out of it. And it was frustrating. It wasn't painful. It was frustrating though, because I was always wanting to go. And Source was like, no, you must sit. And now like pretty much every single person who works with me, I'm like, you must sit.
She tells me I'm grounded all the time. You're grounded.
Sit down. You need to sit down. You need to think about it and not feel like. But I also feel like when you learn to sit and be in that, your go means so much more. It's like that quiet person who all of a sudden says something, and you're like, oh, All right, Big Daddy. I didn't know. I didn't know. There's just a lot of power when you are really picky choosy of when to go, but you can't know when to move if you're not listening and you're not receiving all of the information.
At this retreat, there's going to be delicious food. We're going to have lots of different classes with lots of time for you to integrate the information. And it's not just lecture style, it is interactive. It is doing the stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like we don't just come and talk about it. It's like 100. Like let's go in a good way.
Yeah. We're going to be doing a drum ceremony, and you do have the option to add on a drum. And I'm going to be making or dyeing the drums half black, half not. So you'll have a yin yang drum, a light dark drum, a masculine feminine drum. And
I
so we'll be balancing those
am
energies.
so excited. Jenny said this earlier today. We decided we were kind of talking about, I don't even, this just kind of worked out. We were talking about our program for next year. And um, she's like, oh, yeah, this is autumnal equinox. This is light and dark. And we should dye drums. And most of my drum, well, my red drum is dyed and I love it. And I took a long time to like ombre it. And it's my favorite because you can really, if you're into that energy and that movement, and if you're not yet, you will be. Don't worry about it. You'll get there. Um, just to feel that light and dark of a drum. I'm so excited. I've wanted a pure black and white drum for a while, so I am personally very excited to get me some yin and yang drum.
The drum orders do have to be placed by September 7th.
September 7th.
September 7th. I need all the drum orders by September 7th to get all the supplies and get it beautifully initiated and dyed for you for the retreat. So if you're thinking of coming and you're wanting a drum, don't wait last minute.
And I think that this is really beautiful. So we have done drum ceremonies in the studio before, and we have decided. I mean, I don't know that we will say that we're never going to do one like that again because I don't know that it's true. But we really love doing them in a retreat because you get to take the energy of the retreat. And there is something really powerful. Like, you don't have to have tools to do this work. Can you put feathers on them? I have feathers on all of my drums, Mom. All of my drums have a feather. In fact, I have feathers sitting here that will go into drums. Yeah, there's one right there. I had one right around here somewhere, but I've started to collect them.
I have a whole bag of them that I bring so that you can pick a feather to put on your drum or drumstick.
And sometimes you find them as you're making them. Like, that's always really fun too. But when you take the energy, like when you are in an environment and you have a tool and you christen that tool in that energy, it's just always so much more. Like, I have tools that I've christened and stuff and tools I haven't. And there's just ones that are like, this was the drum. This was for me, it's usually pendulums, but this was the pendulum that I used in that ceremony.
Ooh, yeah.
That would
Drum for you.
be fun. An owl feather in a yin and yang drum. That would be fun. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to put the link. So if you're interested in that retreat or any of the other retreats, if those dates don't work for you, we actually have 2 Soul Awakening retreats every single year. So we have the dates for next year, and I'm going to put them in the comment. This is the website, so you can see the dates for our Soul Awakening retreats and also our Reiki level 1 and 2, and then Reiki level 3 retreats. All of our upcoming retreats, all the dates all the way through 2023 are in there. Maybe we'll throw some more retreats in, but at the moment we don't have plans for that. So there are 3 options for Soul Awakening retreats on that website if these dates don't work for you. All of those retreats will include an add-on price for drums. I think we need to fix that. We have not fixed that yet. So you'll have to do an add-on price for drums at the current price points. And then we're not really talking about the Reiki retreats, but there are Reiki retreats if you want to learn to do what we do.
Yeah. One of my favorite things about retreats is the community. like how these beautiful people, and this is a co-ed retreat, so not just for women, this is men can come too, because men have a feminine side also. They've got that yin energy within them as well. But you all come kind of as strangers and
Mhm.
leave as family.
Yeah,
And like some of these retreats have created friend groups from your very first retreat. They still hang out together and do things together.
absolutely. I'm always seeing those girls. Like, I just saw, and it's funny because we did our first retreat over 2 years ago, probably now, our first retreat. We've done well, over 10 retreats now. I would say over 10, something like
Yeah.
that. And I definitely know, yeah, most of the people from our first retreat are in connection with each other. Every once in a while, we'll see a pop up in that group chat because we create these group chats after retreats, and people are so close, and it's so much fun. And I love that people like will go on vacations together, like
Mm-hmm.
go together and go on vacations, and I think that's really cool.
The thing that's always so fascinating to me is that like if I were to try to hand pick the perfect people to show up at the retreat to help that have similar stories or similar lives going on or whatever, there's no way I could. But it always works out so perfectly where everybody that shows up at the retreat has this common thread between all of them. Either they've experienced what you're currently going through, or they're currently going through it, or they like there's some close connection so that everybody's like, mm, like this, remember this compassion for yourself in your dark times. Like they have that compassion for you because they're either in it and they're like, oh, I can sympathize with you, or I've been there.
Yeah.
And you know, and it's just like the people that show up that choose into these are so powerful, and the energy that we do, the work we do there amplifies, like
Absolutely.
magnifies.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, retreats are amazing. If you ever want to go to a retreat, I always suggest it. Whether you come to one of our retreats or someone else's retreats, if you're thinking about going to a retreat, do it. Do it.
Mhm.
You will not be disappointed. You won't. You will not. Okay, friends. Well, we love you so much,
Mhm.
and we will see you next week. And I hope that some of you decide to join us in Lava in September. And it'll be super fun. Any other thoughts, Jenny?
No, just that we're going to Lava Hot Springs, y'all. So that means soaking in the hot springs, the beautiful water womb energy with the minerals, and
And there's cute little metaphysical shops there too, just FYI.
yeah,
Also there. So cute. Okay. All right. Well, we hope to see you guys in Lava in September.
yeah.
Right here. Well, you can't see because my mouse. You can't see my mouse. And if you want to sign up, the link is in the comments. And yeah. Okay. We love you guys.